everyone, it's jwitty. Welcome to Friday with Friends, and thank you for joining us this evening. So this is a botched and failed pour that I eventually succeeded into turning it into something completely different than what I set out to actually accomplish. I had gotten some inspiration. I'd had this canvas sitting in my studio for the longest time, pulled it out from behind a bunch of other stuff and stared it down for weeks on end, trying to decide what I was going to do with it. It's a 30 by 40, fairly large. Finally got some inspiration and decided to give my hand a try at accomplishing this vision, and it just ended up not working for me. And I think what happened here is not only did I overthink the whole thing, I ultimately overworked it. And I was really, as the process continued on, becoming more and more frustrated. I had all kinds of drop cloths down because I do have an area rug in my studio that when I have a larger canvas, I attempt to put, some form of a drop cloth down, but then, the paint drips on that and I paint barefooted and I step in it and one thing leads to another. Just wasn't my day in the studio when I did this. I also attempted this work after a few weeks of just not being in the zone of wanting to paint. And I've had that more often than not these last couple of months. I don't know what my issue has been, but I wanted to get back into my studio. And, sometimes you just gotta have a few, that's my raspberry, a few bad outcomes, I guess, before, all of a sudden you're back into your zone. And I think I just went out of my zone, and because of that, I couldn't get back in, even though I had this vision. I was more in my head, and I wasn't allowing for the vision just to flow through me and onto the canvas. I was trying to control every aspect of the outcome of every little detail of this attempt, and it was just, I was becoming more and more frustrated and not happy with what I was seeing. So ultimately, after you see me go through all this and totally overwork it, I end up scraping it all into the center, stretching it out, and I took some acrylic inks and I just let my frustration go by taking the acrylic inks and splattering them onto the canvas. I ultimately ended up with a party on the canvas, as you're going to see, which left some interesting design or cells or whatever you want to call them. So with that said, maybe not one of my best works of art here, but here you see me scraping it all in. But you know what? I worked it. I salvaged the original by using that as my base. I end up tilting this until I've stretched it out. Almost looks like a really pretty kind of granite countertop with a green, grayish, blue colored marbly look because of the white that's mixed in there. And again, the paints were mixed with just Floetrol and water. There is some Australian Floetrol because I did attempt on the original, before I scraped, to do some swipes with some Aussie Floetrol and Amsterdam paints, and that wasn't working in my favor. So this is just a prime example of having a concept in your head, having an idea, a vision, and it just doesn't go in your favor. But I didn't give up until I had something. And like I said, it ended up looking like a party on the canvas. My husband came in and looked at it and absolutely fell in love with it. I was amazed because it's taken a day or two for this actually to grow on me. It is definitely different. It's fluid art. It's fluid art that went its own way and not the way that I wanted it to. And that's okay, because sometimes that's going to happen to each of us that attempt fluid art. It's not an art form that can be 100% controlled. You have to learn to just let go and let it flow. And I'm, a little over 2 years into this process, and I'm still having to learn that. I still have days where I just struggle and I get so frustrated, and it's like, why can't it turn out to be perfection? But it's usually in our imperfections where we find out that the perfection lies. And look at that. I mean, that doesn't look too terribly bad there. So here is where I begin to splatter on the alcohol inks. Now, I don't have them mixed out of with any alcohol. I strictly shook the little bottles up and just started splatting them onto the canvas, and their reaction with the acrylics and the Floetrol is interesting. Kind of looks like a weird science project. But the colors that I throw down and ultimately end up looking like I've got a party on the canvas. And, my husband said if a guy can tape a banana to the wall with electrical tape and make millions off of that, I can certainly have a day in my studio where I just put a bunch of paint down on the canvas, toss it around, tilt it around, splatter some stuff on top, and I too can call it art. But anyways, that's a story for another day. But this is what I ultimately end up with. I do take you in for the semi-dried results. And while I mean semi-dried, it was, it was just a rough day. I didn't quite do a full wet result filming, and I didn't do a dry result filming. It was like in between. So if that makes any sense, at the end there's a few up close shots of it when it was completely dry. But this technique here, though, I got to tell you, it helps to get sometimes the frustration out of you. Just splatter some colors down on a canvas, if you put a base coat down, see what happens. I've done this, I think, this kind of a technique of the splat. Splatter the paint on once or twice before. It just usually helps to release any of the negativity that I'm harboring within and my frustrations as an artist. And this is my frustration on a canvas, but it came out pretty colorful. And it looks like I turned a failure into a party, if you ask me. So do me a favor and drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And for a lineup of tonight's artists, also you'll find in my description box, just tap on that title. It'll take you right there. And with that being said, guys, this is pretty much the end. The dry result, or the semi-dried results, are coming up. I appreciate you being here. I do invite you to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell for future uploads if you haven't done so already. And until next time, guys, please stay safe, take care, and blessings to you all. Bye-bye.
It hurts. dark clouds, I will always be your guiding light.